Should we start again? Who's back? Refresh this. So we have Amy and Courtney. See if I can touch it. Well, so I don't know if there was a question or comment that I missed before I refresh, since I can't see the past chats. But I do want to visit with you more. It's awkward for me to not be able to hear anybody. And I'm wondering what questions you have at this point. It doesn't have to be about the subject necessarily. Basically a 3-hour class. I'm wondering 6 to 8:45. All right, we can do that. Bring snacks. Okay. Now for this. Has everybody been doing the quizzes successfully, repeatedly? That's another question. When are the assignments due? I don't even know if I set a due date. They're meant to do over and over and over, actually, to, I mean, don't just do them ad nauseum, but each time you do the quiz, you can do it again and it will pull up a new set of questions from the however many are in the quiz bank. So do we have any due this week? Well, okay, the quizzes are going to be due every week, or rather they're going to be new quizzes available every week, and the quizzes will be your primary way of preparing for the test, because the test will draw from a lot of those quiz questions. But it's also meant to stimulate a discussion of, the quizzes should help you find some things that you don't understand as well as you'd like to, so that you can ask me questions, so that I can direct what I'm saying to be more helpful to you. So that's part of the quizzes. Do we have other assignments like the presentations and flipgrid questions and stuff? I didn't post any questions yet and give assignments that way. That was supposed to happen today and didn't. But and I haven't put people into groups for when they will be doing the different demonstrations. quizzes are separated from the unit assignments. Now, kind of the same thing. Well, yeah, I don't know how they're worded on Blackboard. Let me log into Blackboard, so I'm looking at our, I don't think it's, I don't think you're seeing what I'm seeing at the moment, so I apologize for that. So the quizzes are under the weekly quizzes. So let's see if I can, let me bring this up, add a source, screen capture, no capture. Aha. So here's Blackboard, and you will see Skype would not be bad. This side navigation disappears, and I know that's been a problem for some people, especially on their phones. Yes, Mondays we will be meeting in person. Today's an exception. So the weekly quizzes, if you do any of these, you know, it will just give you 10 questions. What are 3 types of learners? What are the 6 main strategies taught by learning scientists? Which of the accompanying scholars created winding educational modules? Upheld certifiable encounters and volunteerism as a feature of the educational curriculum. Not all the questions are very well written, but I'm excusing myself a little bit in that students, past students, helped write a lot of the questions. Here's a problem. This is meant to be a separate question, and it accidentally didn't format correctly. I should try to fix that. Anyhow, those quizzes, let me turn that off now. Those quizzes, I didn't set due dates, and they're kind of due every week, but I just wanted them so you can just always be taking them, and it'll just take the average of your scores for each time you do one. You'll get an average. It'll contribute to your average. Okay, so yes, Mondays we will be meeting in person. I will be in Uvalde on Mondays. So hopefully this is our only broadcast. This is definitely harder for me. Let's try Skype. I don't know if I've got Skype installed, but I would like to see you guys. Let me see if I already have it. So I'm going to, yeah, let's keep I'm going to keep rolling on the video for now. I'm not certain that everybody has Skype or anything like that. It'll take me a minute to get it set up. This is a new computer for me that I just built earlier in the year. And yeah, it's pretty quick to create a Skype account, but you may have to download an app and blah blah blah. It will want to access your camera, and yeah, can I access your microphone? Yeah. Can I access your contacts? Just tell it no for now. You can always change it later. My Skype is Utah e-bikes. That's the one that I remembered. think if you search that you'll find me. So I'm gonna try, and if some of you can't be on Skype, maybe I can put the Skype window. Let's see. Screen capture, window capture, Skype. Look, I can put Skype up, and maybe we'll see it together that way. I don't know. We'll see if this works. Okay, so we need to download it. Yeah, it's like it's a small program or an app, but it does work fairly well for a group. If you get a Skype name, then I will add you. What are my options? Start chatting on Skype. All your contacts and groups. So here we can. Here I can search and put your name. Yeah, whatever your. Interesting. Oscar, cool, you built your computer. Yeah, I've never done that before, so, you know, thanks to YouTube and Reddit and, you know, different instructional things, I had help. And I, you know, first it was really confusing, and then I thought, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, and I got it put together, and it wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't boot up. And I thought, oh no, and I was kind of running out of time. So it just sat for months, and I could only, you know, I'd come back to it for a little bit, I'd work on it, and it still wouldn't work. And I got it down to, it was either I had messed up the motherboard, or I had messed up the main processor, the chip, or I had bought the wrong RAM. The RAM wasn't compatible with the motherboard, and that's what it ended up being. I was a letter off in which model of RAM I had ordered. So, got new RAM, stuck it in, everything worked. It's been great. So, it works a lot better than my school computer, which is kind of nice. Except that, of course, now the kids take it over. I don't get on it too often. Okay, did the video end? I didn't think it did. I don't think it ended. Okay, so Amy still sees. So Guillermo is Amy, but Guillermo's William, right? If we're doing translations. And Guillermo. In French, Guillaume. I don't remember the French having a feminine form of Guillaume, but maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. Okay. What else to talk about while people are downloading Skype? Or in case that doesn't work. Let me go back to here. Okay, so we're having a window of a window. Is that what it was? Go back to the let's go back to this one. Where was that? Okay. Yeah, let's go back to this one. Scientific state of mind. Some scientific discoveries are chalked up to the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time to make a key observation. But rarely does serendipity alone lead to a new discovery. The people who turn lucky breaks into breakthroughs are generally those with the background knowledge and scientific ways of thinking needed to make sense of the lucky observation. So the example they give is Henri Beckett, 1896. He found that photographic plates stored next to uranium salts were spotted as though they'd been exposed to light rays, even though they had been kept in a dark drawer. Someone else with a less scientific state of mind and less background knowledge about physics might have cursed their bad luck and thrown out the ruined plates. But Becquerel was intrigued by the observation. He recognized it as something scientifically interesting, went on to perform follow-up experiments that traced the source of the exposure to the uranium, and in the process discovered radioactivity. So it was, nobody knew that uranium was anything but a rock, and he figured out what radioactivity was. Another good story is with Louis Pasteur. So Louis Pasteur is, we know him for pasteurization. He was a French microbiologist in kind of the golden days of microbiology, and he was a rock star in France in the 1800s. He was really well known in France, and Robert Koch was really well known in Germany. So it was kind of this golden age because, better microscopes and being able to see bacteria, and the whole germ theory of disease was during this period of figuring out that bacteria could cause diseases. Is Blackboard down again? Another student having problems. So anyway, Louis Pasteur, he came up with vaccines. He came up with the name vaccine even, and the name virus. He never saw a virus, but he figured out that they were there even though he couldn't see them. So he did a lot of really cool things. The pasteurization came from the wine industry. They were wondering, why does our wine keep turning into vinegar, and can you do anything about it? And he figured out that there was a specific bacteria that was contaminating the wine and turning it into vinaigre, sour wine, and that if you heated up the wine gently to 60 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, and then that would kill off that bacteria, then you could inoculate it with just the yeast, and then voila, wine instead of vinegar. So that's how that process started. And so people would come to him with problems, right? Different kinds of problems. And sorry, I'm looking at Blackboard at the same time I was trying. And so chicken cholera, basically chickens with diarrhea, was the problem that he was asked to solve. And okay. is working. I'm going to have to really think about no tests can be given during Monday evenings for the other section because too many interruptions by far. So chicken cholera, pretty bad thing here, right? It's bad, kills chickens. And here's Louis Pasteur wondering, you know, can we just figure out what is causing this disease? So he needed to try to collect the bacteria and grow the bacteria. So he got sick chickens and collected poop from them and, you know, started growing it in the lab. And the process was, you know, you have to decide. Robert Koch was the one who kind of came up with this idea in Germany. Well, he and Pasteur both, they were in competition. So you had to, you know, isolate a bacteria, and of course there are bacteria everywhere, so you're trying to get a pure culture of just one species from the sick animal and then inject it into a healthy animal, and they die, right? That's the idea. That you made them sick, they die, and then from the dead one you have to re-extract that bacteria and check and see if it was the same one that you had injected in, you know, that you really were the cause of death. That's the basic idea. So he had his assistant helping him out, and they made up some samples of what they thought was the bacteria killing the chickens. But then it was summer holidays in France. So they all went on summer holidays. They left for 6 weeks. And they came back, and he's like, oh, where's that bacterial sample? Let's try this. And they had their chickens, and they injected the chickens, and the chickens didn't get sick. Okay, the chickens were fine. And he's like, oh, darn, our sample's probably old and no good. Let's mix up some new. So they mixed up some new, and they injected it into the chickens, and they didn't die. And he thought, that's interesting. You know, what's up with that? And this is where Louis Pasteur coined, you know, la chance. I can't remember the exact phrase. It basically, luck favors the prepared mind, is what it was. And because he could think about it, he thought, now wait a minute, these chickens that didn't die, maybe they didn't die because we gave them some of the old bacteria. And this is chicken cholera was the beginning of vaccinations. The idea that you could take the bacteria that caused the sickness, let it get really old and weak and dead, use that, and that it would give some immunity, that the body would develop an immunity to the live deadly stuff. So that, you know, that's the basic idea with vaccination, and he came up with it, you know, from a chance event, but you know, luck favors the prepared mind was the lesson there. So, scientific state of mind. I'm getting crazy texts. When I come in person next time, the phone's going away. Nobody's going to see it. How are we on Skype stuff? I've got too many windows open here, so I have to go back to. Okay. We have any assignments? Flipgrid does not work for Courtney, asking about Flipgrid assignments. I have not posted anything. I'll include, I put your section of Blackboard with everybody else, so I'll just include you guys on the list, kind of on the rotation for answering the short answer questions. And so some of you will see on the Flipgrid assignment soon enough. Okay, Oscar has no luck on Skype. And Amy has no luck on Skype. Okay, never mind. Things often don't go as planned. All right, well, we got a few more minutes here. Let me talk to you about your test, because even though you might not feel totally ready for your test, you get to take a test. And you should have seen on Blackboard the announcements, and let me go back to announcements, and let me go back to where's my broadcasting thing? Move that one, add. Okay. I bet that really doesn't work on a phone, but I'll try to make it larger. Okay, so in the announcements, your first test, details of when and how. This kind of applies to you, even though I sent you separate things, but find a proctor, have them register here, but they should probably just text me directly as well, since you're not quite with the rest of the group. I'm not real particular as to when you take the test, except that I do want to move on. Like if we, well, I guess we're not going to get ahead of the other group. I was hoping we could actually get ahead of the rest of the class, because then on Mondays I could talk with you guys, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I could refine it for the others. That's okay. So I don't know. Take the test when you feel comfortable before next Monday. And so I'm just going to leave it open. Don't talk to each other, though, once you've taken the test. So that's the problem. And I'm still having proctors texting to me asking for the password. And that's why I'm never going to have another test on Mondays for the rest of the class, because people keep asking for this password. It's been a crazy day all around. So just get the test taken, and don't talk to each other about the test. There you go. Simple enough. And as I said, this one especially, you know, if you do those quizzes over and over and over, you're going to be in good shape. Okay, you'll be fine. Now, if no more tests on Mondays is right. So the best prep you can do for the test is do the quizzes over and over. You'll be fine then at that point. So take that and then start on physics stuff, and start thinking about demonstrations, what you're going to do there. You know, basically you're going to want 3 demonstrations: a chemistry, a physics, and I mean, it can be earth science, it can be biology. You don't have to do physics and chemistry and earth science and biology. Choose 3. So do start thinking about demonstrations that you want to do. Flipgrid's not working for somebody, borrow somebody else's phone to have them film you or something like that. Okay. What else was I going to say about that? It's going to be a late night on Mondays, so we're going to finish up now, and I guess you guys have about an hour drive. I will have an hour and a half drive. Okay, so psychologically prepare. So it won't let you sign in, Courtney, to Flipgrid? Huh. I will check. It's looking for your username. Like mine looks like this. Of course, I shouldn't give that to you because now you're going to sign in as me. No, but you know what? It's nothing secret. It's just whatever you sign in to a school computer with, that's what it's looking for. And just send me an email if you're not able to sign in, and I'll figure out on my end what's going on. I just had to say to give everybody a code. So maybe your name wasn't on the list when I set it up. That's a possibility. So just email me a reminder and I'll get you set up. Other questions? Okay, yeah, it must be a problem on my end. Maybe I can sign in as an educator and fix that right now. I'll stick around a little bit after to fix that. But for now, what other questions do we have? What other work do we have? Start learning some physics is the main thing, and asking me questions that, you know, as you go. Pretty much, you know, whatever you're reading, put it in terms of questions, which will help me in communicating with you, but also write some of those questions as quiz questions. Back someplace on Blackboard, there was a place to submit quiz questions, link to post quiz questions. It's in the helpful links menu, which is right here on the left hand pane. So it's just a form to submit a new quiz question. Just takes you, tells you kind of some guidelines for writing a question, but just write the question there. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Back to where the questions were. Can you show the flip grid, please? Yeah. Let me show you flip grid. Let's see, find that window. So flipgrid.com/BIO3300. I just type in my KVY16CY. You type and it'll look like this. And introductions, we have almost everybody in the class is given an introduction. Ask your teacher, you know, you can post any question here. And then this is the assigned, you know, people are assigned to answer a short answer question. And sometimes I respond, sometimes I don't. I'll respond to the I'll respond to the questions that are asked of me in this one, and I'll often respond in the short answer questions. And I will post a new grid here. We don't have the demonstrations, but I'll post that as well. So the demonstrations, if you want to see, let me log into last semester. Here's where they did their demonstrations, and I don't remember, and I have the sound off right now, but So she was talking about states of matter, and this is how she presented it. Was, you know, and there's a little demonstration of it. And she had a plasma ball, which was kind of fun. So that's one example. Oops, didn't mean to go all the way out. I'm just clicking randomly here. How to grow a bean in a jar. Oh, I didn't like that one. It was just not explained real well. There wasn't much to it. What was this one about? Oh, this was fun. She was having some young helpers build a little DNA model. So she was explaining to them about the adenosine, cytosine, thymine, guanine, and how they put together. So they built a little DNA model, and they put a little twist to make the double helix. So there's that. Lots of ideas of possible demonstrations. Now, it's someplace else where I could see any questions. Do you give us topics for the, no. I will give you topics only for the short answer questions, kind of like essay type questions. So this week I'll assign, you know, this question should be answered by this person. So for the short answer questions, I give you topics. For your demonstrations, no, you just choose. There's a question on the quiz that did not make sense. Asked about the 7 intelligences. I thought it was Gardner, but that was not an answer choice. I would have to look. Like I say, the quiz questions, they're not all good. They're not all well written. And I fix them when a problem is pointed out, but it takes, it's Blackboard, so it takes 20 steps to find the question and fix it. So I'll try to remember to fix that right after. If it, I don't know, there might be something else that kind of makes sense as a possible answer. So we just enter your flip code. No, you should just be able to enter your student ID to get in. Whatever, I could find your student IDs actually. Let me see if I can find them. So it's the first part of your email, your Sol Ross email. So let me fix things. Okay. Boom. Okay, so Oscar Vasquez. Too many windows open here. What order is this? Oscar, are you even on Blackboard? Where are you? Oh, it's not showing everybody, that's why. Okay, so for you, you would just enter OXV18GK. Students, so you're going to go like flipgrid.com/BIO3300, and then it will ask, it will say it's closed, and it will ask and you would then enter for Oscar OXV, what is that, 18GK. And for Amy, GXV, and these are this is just this isn't secret. This is just the first part of your email, and basically it's just, you know, keep in mind Flipgrid's designed for elementary school students. You assign them each an ID, then they can get into Flipgrid and see themselves. It's just a protection so that, you know, your elementary school class isn't being watched by the child predator down, you know, the next town over or something. So that's why it has you set it up that way. But you should go ahead and create an educator account and start playing with it. You know, it's a good thing to have, but this is how you would get into there. Courtney's KXB16JY. And another person who's taking the test. Okay. Where are we here? Okay, Courtney. Then I do have to go to my educator dashboard actions. Let me see if I can. Okay, Courtney, I'm about to fix your problem, I think. KXB16JY. KXB16JY. Just double check that. KXB16JY. Okay, Courtney, I just barely added you. And I will hit update. Let's see if you're in. Where did? Oh my goodness! I can't find where I can see you guys again. There. Okay. So Oscar, I need to fix you. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, Oscar should be in now. Mosquito. Okay. Who else? Make sure that Amy's in there. All right. Alright, good. It's working for you. Amy, I just put you in. I don't know if I had you in before or not, but I added you again. Anybody else? Yeah, it is the one you use for getting into Blackboard. That's right. All right. Anything else? By the way, I'm probably going to delete this video from YouTube because it's terribly boring. I wouldn't wish it upon you to. I can leave it up for now in case somebody wants to watch it at double speed to pick out one thing. But I'll have my head on straighter next Monday. And we won't be having Monday tests, and I'll be in Uvalde, and you'll be in Uvalde, and it'll work so much nicer. Okay, so let me close some windows. Let's see, remove that one. Okay, now we're back to simplified world here. All right. Yes, it has been a crazy day. Time to wrap it up. Is there anything though that we're missing here? Yeah, most of what we need to do. Yeah, check out the syllabus. Man, did we update it again? There was feedback. Anyway, yeah, you got your tests, your quizzes, your short answer assignments, demos, and stuff are on Flipgrid. And the other thing on Flipgrid is going to be interacting with another classroom. And I haven't heard back yet. One of the things you can do when you log in as an educator is this Grid Pals, and so I have reached out to several. I just chose, I can't remember, I wanted some places that were further away. So I chose some people up further north and maybe out west and tried to connect with them. I haven't seen where they've responded. Maybe I'm missing it someplace. I think I actually asked them on Twitter, so I'll check. But we'll connect to some little kids' classroom and basically have a chance for you guys to interact with them and talk science and talk about a science book and stuff like that. So that'll be another part of it. All right, are we good? I can see I'm going to need to caffeinate driving home sometimes. I'm just going to come less tired. Okay, I'm good. Anything else? You know how to reach me. I'm on your group chat now, your group text. So I think that should be good enough. All right. Good night. Do science. Do those quizzes and be, take the test soon. Start studying physics. We'll do, it'll be fun. We'll do some fun stuff next Monday. Physics is fun. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. Arrivederci.